Welcome to the audio excerpts of special seminars and conversations with Nalin Nirula on gettingpositivekarmanow.com.
This is to show you the contradictions that there are in who you think you are and who you actually are. It's a very good exercise in self-examination, meant only for you to look into it. With periodical test checks from different directions, we will give you and indicate, hey, here is the mirror, look at it. And see in the mirror what you really are, and what you don't like to change, you can't change in the mirror, you have to change inside the origin of where that reflection in the mirror is coming from. So sometimes you will not want to look at the mirror, you'll ignore it and say, hey, it is the way I think it is. So that is a very tough position. So you need to do a lot more healing on your hara region, below the navel, and your kidneys, because your relationship with your image of yourself, what you are seeing in the mirror is the image of yourself, and how do you react or respond to it is your relationship, which is kidneys, solar plexus. You need to fix your relationship with yourself first. That is actually done at the basic level. Then at this level, you fix the relationship between yourself and the rest of the universe, and then progressing further, your relationship with the divine. So you can't really get to the divine till first you fix your own relationship with yourself, with who you are, and know your place in the universe and know everybody else's place in the universe. Where are they? Where do I fit in into the scheme of things? And then how do I relate to the divine? How does everybody else connect to the divine? That is advanced study. And if I understand that, if I know that, that will give me the wisdom to act in such a way that I create a wonderful destiny for myself. Because life is continuing, I'm able to deal with situations, I'm doing everything, but without the toxic element of the injections that I'm giving myself of this toxic matter. So don't give yourself those self-imposed toxic injections. As I said earlier, loss, everything you will lose that is connected to the body. What is connected to your physical body, you're going to lose. Your family, your bank balance, your assets, your relationships, all of them are going, is it not? Before you, when people were here, did they also lose everything? Then what makes you think you're not going to lose it? If your grandparents and great-grandparents are no more here, that means then, they have lost those connections with the people, and you may vaguely even remember them or not at all. So those connections are faded away. So you come for a specific moment in time, and you have a particular opportunity or a series of opportunities to work with. And then you do your work and move on. Ultimately, detachment is the key. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. Detachment means actually to be detached, not attached. It doesn't mean that there is no connection. There may be a connection, but it is detached. It is at a distance. Because what is important is where you have to go ultimately. Your ultimate goal of life supersedes everything else. There are duties and there are duties. There are lower duties and there are higher duties. And in pursuit of the higher duties, all lower duties may be sacrificed. They're relative, and then they're absolute duties. So your absolute duty is to detoxify your karma. That you can do with healing. And finally, beyond that, you will find that that is not the final ultimate duty. You will find another layer. And that layer is spontaneous service to the divine. So that will happen when there is sufficient amount of loving energy flowing through your heart, and that becomes spontaneous, loving service of the divine. Right now it is practice only, because it's not there perhaps. If it's there, then there is no method. Again, we get back to the trap. So ultimately it will come to that. Finally the method will disappear when you are in a state of spontaneous loving service to the divine, instinctively, automatically, like breathing. So that is the final stage actually. Even being free of your consequence, binding consequence, karma is not the ultimate objective. It is something that is on the path to something higher. And that can happen if you are connected to the goal of serving the divine unconditionally and lovingly. So this may be theoretical, and this theoretical will gradually reveal the actual as you do the practice. So which is why practice is so important. You know, when you become free of binding consequence karma, it is moksha. Moksha is not the highest. Moksha is the minimum level of emancipation of the spirit. It is the minimum level of the freedom of the soul. But there you are still working out of some element of fear, some awe, some reverence for the divine, for the energy. Then that becomes your deity. And then there is a stage beyond that. So you have to come at least to this minimum platform. We are not aiming for moksha. Moksha is easy, relatively speaking. Let me put this to you. Moksha is easy. Getting free of your binding karma is very easy. It's a small step. Then your actual association with the divine, the source of the divine energies that you are working with the KQ force, with Reiki, now you have to face the source of that, the being, the entities. That is where you can go. So all smaller deities, smaller gods, demigods, semi-gods, they are on the way to this. They are not ultimate. They may have great powers, they may have great potentials to do things, and they actually do it. But they are also not the ultimate. So you have to go beyond the bodily conditioned, dogmatic understanding of divinity. But this is all there on the way. Following the method, you go to this point. You know, as healers, we can consider you as already liberated from binding consequence karma. Why? Because you are on track. If you are a healer and you are doing your healing, it's only a matter of time till you get there. This lifetime, next lifetime, 10 lifetimes, whatever it is, you are going to get there. The question is how much delay, how much in between lower mind you are going to be working with, the pain, the loss, the lamentation, the grief and all the rest of it. How much of that flavor you are wanting to experience. You will experience. But ultimately you will get out of it. Because whatever healing work you do is not lost at the end of this body. You continue again, just as you have in this lifetime come to these healing modalities from previous lifetimes. There are very, very few who have first time connected to this, because this is very advanced actually. Very, very few. All of you have come from previous times, from previous connections. You are already on the way. So just like you came now, in future also you will continue this work. So it's a matter of time. The question is, how much time do you want? How much do you have in this body?